Hi, 607 and 608. Today's learning target is I can determine the volume of a rectangular prism with whole number or fractional dimensions. So, what is volume? It is the amount of three-dimensional space an object occupies. Volume is measured in cubic units, which cubic means to the third power. So if we have our units, it would be an exponent of 3. You can also write it as the caret and the number 3. So a cube is a 3D square. Remember, a square has 4 equal sides. A cube also has equal sides. So here we have a rectangular prism. It's 4 units across. It's 3 units down, and then it's 2 units high. So instead of only having 2 measurements, like we've had with area, we now have 3 different measurements. So in order to calculate the volume, we're going to have to multiply the length by the width by the height, our 3 dimensions. That's why we labeled our answer as cubic units, which can also be written as the caret with the number 3 or the exponent 3. So here for this example, my length would be 4, the width would be 3, and the height would be 2. I'm multiplying 4 times 3 times 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24 cubic units. Here we have another rectangular prism. It's 3 blocks high, 5 blocks wide, and 4 blocks long. So in order to calculate the volume, I'm multiplying 4 times 5 times 3. So when I substitute in my dimensions, I now do 4 times 5, which is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. Our formula would be written as V is equal to LWH. Remember, when we have variables attached, it means to multiply. So here we have another example. We don't have the labeled in blocks anymore. It's just labeled in a particular unit of measurement. In this case, it's centimeters. So to find the volume, I'm going to multiply 5 times 4 times 8. So here is my substitution. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 times 4 is 160 cubic centimeters or centimeters cubed. Ms. Maljevic, could you please go over the practice problem?
I'm going to do the practice problems with you guys. So the learning target, I can determine the volume of a rectangular prism with whole numbers. Now let's look at the first practice problem. This, as we see over here, our length is 10 centimeters, our width is 10 centimeters, and our height is 10 centimeters. All 3 dimensions are 10 centimeters, which makes this a cube. A cube is made up of squares, which have all equal sides. So we're going to write a formula, which is volume equals length times width times height. We're going to substitute what we know, right, for the length, the width, and the height. However, in this case, because it's a cube and all sides are equal, the length, the width, and the height are each 10 centimeters. So I'm going to multiply my length and my width. I'm going to do 10 times 10, which we know is 100. I'm going to take the product of the length and the width, and I'm going to multiply it by 10, which represents the height, and I get 1,000 centimeters cubed. Remember, in volume, we are cubing our answer because, first of all, this is a 3D shape, and we're multiplying 3 dimensions. Let's look at number 2 now. This is a rectangular prism where the length, width, and height are right here for you. The length is 7, the width is 3, and the height is 4. Oops, sorry. I'm going to multiply my length and my width. I'm going to get 21. 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to take the product of the length and the width, which is 21, and multiply that by 4, which represents the height. and I'm going to get 84. So it's 84 millimeters cubed. Remember, you must cube your answers in volume because you are finding the volume of the 3D shapes and multiplying 3 dimensions. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, we have 7 inches for our length. We have 3 inches for our width, and our height is 10 inches. So we're going to multiply our length and our width. 7 times 3 is 21. We're going to take the product of 21 and multiply it by the height. The height, which is represented by 10 inches. So 21 times 10 is 210 inches cubed. And our last practice problem is this rectangular prism. We're going to write our formula, which is volume equals length times width times height. Our substitution, we're going to substitute for our length, our width, and our height. So 4 is going to represent our length, 4 millimeters. 7 millimeters is going to represent our width, and then 5 millimeters is going to represent our height. We're going to multiply the length and the width, so 7 times 4, we get 28. We're going to take the product of 28 from the length and the width, and we're going to multiply it by 5, which represents the height. And we get 140 millimeters cubed. Don't forget to cube your answers because we are multiplying our length, width, and height, which are 3 dimensions. And these are 3D figures that we are finding the volume of. Alright, if you have any questions, please feel free to message Ms. Madden or myself. Have a great one.